So first we're going to go to k12albemarle.zoom.us and we're going to click sign in. I'm going to use sign in with Google if I get prompted for it. In this case it comes up here. Next I'm going to come in and I'm going to go click over here on the left hand side where it says settings. Some things that I want to point out regarding your settings that should be set up when you're doing your Zooms. So you'll notice over here to the far right it says locked by admin. So they've made sure that everyone has a waiting room. They've also locked the setting for require passcode when scheduling new meetings. That's been locked. They've also done it for instant meetings and also for your password for using PMI. This is the one that when you change the passcode here, I think it changes the links for Zoom. So just be aware of what's happening when you change your passcode. Alright. Next piece is when you come down here and you want to make sure this is toggled to on. So what that does is when you give the students a link, and assuming it's a hyperlink, they will be able to click on it and join your meeting. Down here where it says require a passcode to join by phone, I have that one toggled on as well. This is one that has been confusing people, so we want this one, only authenticated users can join meeting. We want that toggled off. So make sure it stays off. This one, only authenticated user can join meeting for web client, should also be toggled off. When you come down a little further, you'll notice that I have these toggled to on and on for me as the host. I toggle this to off. I'd rather be present when my meeting starts, so that's why I always have this one toggled off for me. Alright, your personal meeting ID, this one I have toggled on, and so if I want to make a change to my room, that's that setting. You may or may not have this one toggled on or off. I have mine toggled to off for this and for this. This one is toggled to on, and it's locked by admin. This one I have on because I like to know when my meetings are coming. I get emails from them. These are some things that happen inside of the meeting. So I have this on, my chat on, private chat for students on. If you don't want them chatting with each other, you can toggle it off. Auto saving I have on for now. Sound notification when someone joins or leaves, I'm going to toggle that to on. It creates like a doorbell for you so you know when someone's coming, and I would just have it for the host and co-host. So I'm going to save this. The file transfer piece, I always want to make sure that's toggled off. When people are Zoom bombing, this is one of the ways they flood your meeting with stuff. It's this right here, so turn that to off. Feedback to Zoom, I really don't want to give them feedback anymore. Co-host, I want to have the ability to have a co-host, so that's on. Show meeting toolbar I think is helpful. You can always move it around on during your Zoom meeting. So show your Zoom windows during screen share. This I toggled to on. You may have it toggled off, but I have mine on. And then this one I toggled to on, but when I go to my meeting I always go to the security button and I turn it on right before I want them to screen share. So it starts out by default where only I can screen share, and then that's how this is set up here. And then when I'm in my meeting, right before I want my participants to screen share, I toggle it to on. This is another way that Zoom bombing was occurring, so I turn that to off. Annotations is another one that is your preference or call when it comes to whether you want students to be able to write on the whiteboard or not. Meeting reactions on. Allow remove participants to rejoin. I have mine toggled to off because I feel like if I intentionally remove someone, I don't want them back in the meeting. Rename themselves, I toggle on. Breakout rooms I have on. Virtual backgrounds I leave on for me. That's your call. Another setting I find useful is email notification when attendees join meeting before host. That means they have clicked on the Zoom link, and so what will happen is you'll get an email notification saying so-and-so is, or your participants are waiting for you to start your Zoom meeting, which I find very useful, especially around office hours. That's everything under settings that I could think of. So the highlights, things that are locked by admin are things that are non-negotiable from the top. Things you want to make sure you have turned on: embed passcode and an invite link for one-click join, or turned off. The next thing I would do is make sure this is turned off: join before host. I always want to be attended. Next setting that I would think about is you can talk about your chats, whether you want them recorded or not, and whether you want students to do private chats. File transfer, I leave off, so make sure that's turned off. It reduces the likelihood that someone Zoom bombs you. Co-host I have turned on. Meeting toolbar I have on. These things are all on. Screen sharing is one, as I was saying earlier, you want to pay attention to. I have mine turned on, and I start with just the host, and then during the meeting I hit the security icon at the bottom, which is a little shield, and then I can do participants can share. Annotation was also your preference. Breakout rooms I would definitely have turned on. And then the other one you may find useful is virtual background and the doorbell. This right here, right below private chat, is the sound notification. This is one I turned on, which I think you might find useful, just letting you know when someone has entered your meeting.